Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. We are here with Christina Love, Senior Specialist of the Alaska Network on Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault. Thank you so much, Christina, for being here with us today.
Thank you so much, Gabriella, for having me. I'm very, very grateful to be here.
Yeah, it is what an honor to speak with you today and hear from you and just learn from you. And so I'd love to just start by inviting you to introduce yourself. And if you could also share with us what inspires you and sustains you in the work.
Sure. So, Koyana Gunishjish, my name is Christina Love. My family is originally from Mikikik Village. I was raised in the village of Chitna, and I am currently coming to you from the beautiful Akantakuquan of the Tlingit Nation, Tlingit Ani, also known as beautiful Juneau, Alaska. I am a survivor and I am part of the Alutiiq Nation. And growing up in rural Alaska, I didn't, some of my first memories are of physical and sexual abuse. And it was I understand better now how normalized violence is, as part of our overall culture, not part of my indigenous culture, but part of the culture that we live in, this dominant culture. I didn't see people talking about healing or talking about addiction or talking about pathways to recovery. And so even into adulthood, I didn't know that it was something that existed. I know what we're going to talk about today is services. My experience with services is that they were not accessible to me. And so I came into this work as an amends. I was pretty new in my recovery pathway and wanted services to know that I was resentful, but I was working with a mentor and she said that, where I wanted to go, that I wouldn't be able to bring this anger and resentment with me, that I needed to let it go. And it has been a really incredible journey of learning to let that go. I fell in love with the people in the work, the people that show up to do this work, to bear witness to survivors. And I remember the first time that I got to sit with somebody and use my experience, all the things that I had wanted in that moment, and really being seen. And there was real reciprocity in the room. I could feel the sacredness of it, of that, the tenderness and the vulnerability and the power that, the way that pain can transform things. And just sitting there with her, in those moments that I really felt that I needed this just as much, and it was really, I learned so much about healing from every single person that I came into contact with. And it has been really, really important to share a couple of really great things that have liberated me that I want to talk about. The science of addiction, or how I understand it, this really normal reaction to trauma, and mental health. Also totally normal reaction to trauma. The thing that wasn't normal was what happened, and really changing that narrative also about, the narrative of what people understand. And maybe some people know that American Indians and Alaska Native people suffer some of the highest rates of violence, not only in the nation, but also in the world. And that's all they know. And I really, it has been such a core passion of mine to tell the full story about who we are and how we are more than the harm that's happened to us. And we are brilliant. And that's, something I know that my mother, who was in boarding school, and her mother, that's something that they didn't hear. And that's something that I didn't feel for a long time. So making sure that people like me are heard and seen, and using, whatever platform or any amount of power that I have to lift up survivors and other people who have been marginalized or who feel less than, because of the violence that's happened to them. So it's really changing that story. And that has been so pivotal to me. And, I'll talk about, some of the people that I came into contact with that really helped change that story about who I thought that I was and the world.